Welcome to the Sailor Jimmy Podcast, your one-stop shop for raw takes on current events, sports, news, and everything in between. Inspiring people to chase their dreams, share their success stories, and find joy in life. Now, here's your captain at the helm, U.S. Navy veteran, Jimmy Rodgers.
Welcome back to another episode of the Sailor Jimmy Podcast. We have two very special guests with us today. Before we get to them, I want to recognize Captain Brad's Coastal Kitchen in Tomball, Texas, as our title sponsor for this season. I also want to give a shout out to Roof Republic, TexasStage.com, and today's product sponsor is Valor Apparel. I got one of their shirts on right now. It's actually my company, but logo's right here. Check them out, Valor Apparel on Facebook. Custom embroidery, custom screen print. We do a lot of merch for entertainers, artists, businesses. So check us out on Facebook. People have been coming at me like left, right, and center to hook up with this band, and they're actually the 2022 Texas Country Music Association Band of the Year. It's the Chad Cooke Band. We have Chad Cooke here himself and Kevin Pool. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, Jimmy. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you guys here. As I just mentioned, people have been coming at me saying, man, you got to work with Chad Cooke and the Chad Cooke Band. There's been a lot of buzz about you guys in our community, Magnolia, Tomball, Conroe area. And I'm glad to finally connect with you guys. You guys are going to be coming out October 21st. Or I'm sorry, you guys are going to be out there October 20th, which is the kickoff party for a concert in the country. It's our 8th annual concert in the country. Just so you guys know, this is our largest fundraiser of the year for Boots for Troops, which we send custom care packages to troops all over the world, every branch of the military. We fly soldiers, sailors, Marines home during the holidays for Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and also emergency situations. We fund one service dog a year with Planet Forward in Humble. And also we provide scholarships to military spouses to attend a trade school or college. So this event is a huge fundraiser. You guys are finally going to be a part of it this year. Tell me, Chad, we'll start with you. What does the military and service members mean to you?
Man, a lot. So I've never served personally, but I have one sibling. That's my twin sister, and she's still in the military. So she's in the Air Force. She's. I'm 35 now, so she's been. At it. So I don't know. Was that 17 years? 17 years now. She's been in. And she's in Las Vegas, Nevada. But all of both my grandparents on both sides. My great grandfathers, both of them, all served in the military. Awesome. My great grandfather was in World War II. My grandfather in Vietnam, and so it's just. I come from a military background. I have nothing but the highest respect for it. So that's why I'm excited personally to be a part of this event and all the things you just mentioned. I was going to ask you about exactly. I've been to a Boots for Troops concert before. Yeah. A couple of years ago when y'all had Tracy Lawrence headline. Yeah. And that's my first time just going, but our first time to be part of it. So what y'all do, and just for the men and women who are in the uniform and fight, protect our country, man, it's awesome. So thanks for letting us be part of it.
Absolutely. How about you, Kevin?
I'm similar to Chad. I've never served, but my uncle and my grandfather both served. And yeah, just like Chad said, we are so happy to be part of Boots for Troops, just because we have the utmost respect for our service members, and actually both of us went to that show a couple years back with Tracy Lawrence.
Right.
That's one of my favorites. Jake Worthington was having a good time playing a show out there. Yeah, it was a good show.
A lot of good lineup.
I remember standing in front of the stage when Tracy was on stage, and by the way, Tracy Lawrence, man, still sounds like he did in the '90s, he does, rocking it. And I remember looking up there like, man, this Tracy freaking Lawrence is
all that dope he smokes.
Yeah, smokes a lot of dope.
Yeah, he was a good time too for the crowd. But you said your sister served in the Air Force, and you had
both my grandparents, both my grandpas, and both my great grandpas. So my great grandfather was, I guess it was the Army Air Corps before they split into two different branches. And then my grandfather was in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, I'm Navy, so I don't really like Army, but no, it's all right. We'll let it slide. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here today, man. That's really why I brought you guys in to talk really about your guys coming to the concert in the country. But in addition to that, I want to get to know you guys as individuals and as a band. And how you guys got started. So can you kind of take us back to, I believe you both probably had individual musical careers before you met, but how did you guys come together as a band?
So I met our guitar player on Craigslist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I was
back page.
Yeah. We had back page. It was late at night. I was looking for loving.
Yeah.
And I
Misconnections is what it was.
Misconnect.
You sure he wasn't on Backpage?
He probably was at the time.
Dallas.
Yeah. And that's where you can find all the good guitar players. The lonely musicians who are up late at night. But I was working on the oil field in Victoria, and I worked there for 4 years. And then in 2014, I got laid off. And I was playing. Our schedule, I had to have like 1 weekend off. Right. So my supervisor, I worked on pump trucks. We did cement, downhole cement, and he was my supervisor. Played bass guitar, so his name was David Bailey. Anyway, so we on the 1 weekend off we'd have a month, we'd go and find South Texas bar. We're based out of Victoria, so we go find bars to play at. That were semi close to Victoria, and I had original music that I'd written, and we'd go play those mixed with a whole bunch of covers. From Cross Canyon Ragweed to Dirks Bentley. I mean, it was all over the place. And then 2014 got laid off, moved to Houston. I was looking for a job. I was living with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. And I was like, I can make a little money while I'm looking for a job if I just get a guitar player, and we can go and just have 2 acoustics, and we'll go play acoustic shows, and maybe I'll make like $200 a night or something, and
just get by, right?
Just give me
Pay
some
the bills.
Give me some beer money.
Some beer money, yeah. Going out money.
Yeah, and so I found Dallas. I was on Craigslist, and I just put a thing on there saying I need a guitar player. And a buddy of his, Tyler, he lives in Nashville, but he's from Houston.
Yeah.
He hit me. He was on there looking for a guitar or something because he was going to be heading back into town in like the next month. He said, "Hey, I saw your post, and I got a buddy of mine who plays in a couple different country bands." And he goes, "I'm not available." He's a guitar player too. He's like, "I'm not available, but because I don't live there. But Dallas, I'll give you his number." So I called Dallas. He was playing with another country band at the time, and he's like, "Man, I got a couple open dates. I'll try to squeeze in when I can." And then through him, he introduced me to our drummer, Mikey, and then Mikey. About a year later, we had another bass player. It was my brother-in-law. We kind of recruited him, and we played a couple shows and then he was in medical school, so he obviously had to stop playing music and go make some real money. And Mikey introduced us to Kevin.
Yeah, I actually hit up Mike because I saw that he was playing with this Chad Cooke Band. I was like, well, hey, if your bass player wants a weekend off or something, I'll jump in
for him,
fill in, thinking I'll make a little bit of cash, get drunk with the boys on the weekend, have a good time.
Yeah.
But like literally the next day is when Jordan told Chad, he's like, "Hey, I can't play any of these dates for the rest of the year."
Yeah,
that was like 2017.
He quit cold
2016.
Yeah. And then Kevin joined the band, and Kevin showed up to practice, and he knew.
Then the band took off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Chad's like, "Hey, we got these 50 songs we got to learn."
We sent him a whole list of 50 songs. We didn't know half of them.
And I was just like, holy crap. Okay, so I learned all these songs, right?
He showed up ready to go.
Yeah. I showed up knowing all the songs. And then we didn't play half of them. And then the half we did play, like I was having to tell him what chords they were supposed to be.
So Kevin showed up for a tryout.
Yeah.
And then we're like, "Hey man, we got a couple of bass players, brother. We don't know, nice to meet you, Kevin. Kevin isn't
we'll let you know.
Okay, we'll let you know." And Kevin played like every song perfect. And then like we were trying to play it cool. And I know at one point Dallas, our guitar player, he turned around because he could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
And he didn't want Kevin to see. But he was laughing like in a good way. He was like, "Man, this guy showed up, and not only he's a great bass player, but he learned all 50 of these songs." And if we'd stop in those songs, and Kevin said, he'd be like, "What chord was that, man? Because I don't even know how to play this song."
Yeah.
And Kevin would tell us how to play. So obviously Kevin's hired right there from the spot. But we've been a band just us four ever since. We don't have hired guns.
Right.
We don't have people coming in and out. I mean, it's just like if one of us can't make a show, we don't play the show. Which thank God, knock on wood, that hasn't happened in 6 years. But
do you also have band practice?
No. He's on us all the time about we need to get together and practice.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about like, do y'all like get together in a garage or like?
No, but we do. We meet in
or
Riverside, and
we do have a garage.
It's either a barn or a garage.
It's at Dallas's family's house in Riverside, so we have a little practice set there, so we don't have to take all of our stuff by the trailer. But every now and then, like you said, once in a blue moon, we'll go up to
I feel like
Riverside.
when you're cutting a new song,
Yeah,
though, or,
yeah,
or you're creating the set or a new set list.
That's
You gotta kinda come
exactly
together and
when we'll
practically
get
out there
together.
at a festival or a venue and really try to roll out the new set. You got to get together and at least practice a little bit, right?
Yeah, for that.
Or you
Anytime
guys
we have
just
new
that good,
songs.
y'all just hey, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, we wish.
That's what you-
No. Yeah, we're that good. We don't ever
Hey,
practice.
Yeah.
We
do
don't
have
even know
something-
we're playing when we get up there.
We have something in common for 2022 is you guys were the Texas Country Music Association Band of the Year. And I was actually at that award show. I presented an award there that night. But this event that they are coming to in October, Concert in the Country, was awarded Charitable Music Event of the Year by the Texas Country Music Association for 2022. So all of us award winners in
Yeah.
Great.
2022. So glad you guys are coming, man. I'm really excited. And Friday night is kind of our kickoff party. So we have a large committee that works year round to execute this event, from sponsor acquisitions to selling tickets, planning, all kinds of different things, presentations. And on Friday night for the kickoff party, all the committee members are there. We're gonna have a big cornhole tournament. We just started this kickoff party like last year, and it was pouring down raining last year. So hopefully good weather this year. It's the first time we've actually brought in 2 bands for Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have an opener, Southern Disposition.
Yeah.
So really excited for you guys to be there, kick off the weekend, fun weekend. And
So is Friday night open to everybody, or is it
Yes.
just committee members stuff?
Yes,
So it's open for everybody.
it's open to the public, but like I said, it's also they're going to have all the cook-off teams there as well. Well, they'll be on site. Some of them come over and participate in the concert that night. Some of those cook-off teams, how they want to camp out in their cook-off area and not leave.
Mhm.
But we're expecting a couple hundred people at least, and it's going to be a good time. So
Awesome.
thank you guys for coming. Let's have a little fun for a minute.
Come on.
You guys down for that?
Down.
All right. What is your favorite food when you're on the road?
That's easy.
Oh yeah,
you
that's
tell 'em what it
it's
is.
a no-brainer. Like we stop at every Mexican restaurant we possibly can. The more seedy it is, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hole in the wall?
Yeah, definitely. It where it looks like you should not drink the water.
If it's sketchy,
Yeah.
the
That's
best
where the
Mexican
best food is. Yeah.
But that's only in Texas though. Like if you get north of Red River,
Yeah.
then the sketchy places are
Yeah.
really sketchy. Like
Yeah.
you probably don't.
Well, they're not good.
Yeah, and you.
What about Waffle House? You guys ever hit up the Waffle House?
I would. I love Waffle House.
does love Waffle House.
Listen,
like
if I walk into a Waffle House and
I think
it's
the rest
clean,
of us.
I'm leaving. Like,
Yeah, I think the
if
rest
it's
of
not
us
a little
hate
dirty in
Waffle
there,
House.
some messy tables,
If
and
there's not a lady back there cooking with like 3 teeth missing,
Yeah.
and she's like every other word's like a cuss word, but then every other word's like honey or baby or darling. Yeah.
yeah, then it's time to go. Like the one off Kirkendall and in Spring, over there by Bareback.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that cooks back there, we've been in there a couple times late night. Dude, this guy can cook, man. I don't care what you say. He's back there making eggs, he's just killing it. I'm like, man, if I ever walk in somewhere and somebody's not, like you said, missing teeth and looking like they're not from the local trailer park, I'm
But I think the Waffle House thing like runs in your family. Your dad loves.
Oh yeah, my
Waffle
dad.
House.
His coffee cups at his house.
At his
is
house,
Waffle House
the Waffle House
cups.
mugs.
Yeah, and he goes to Waffle House and he thinks it's like fine dining. I mean, like my dad will stop at the Waffle House. Like he'll see a 5-star steakhouse or he'll see it doesn't matter what it is. He'll see a Waffle House.
Yeah.
Bet your ass.
There's
it's
one
not
every
everywhere.
he's
couple
making a
miles
stop.
on the highway, man.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
It's an American institution.
I love it. It's good for hangovers at 3:00 in the morning too. There's a casino we play up in Tulsa, and there's a Waffle House in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So the all the restaurant stuff in the casino, they all close down.
Yeah. Oh,
After
man, I bet that place
after
gets packed.
11 or whatever, and then so Waffle House. We'll get off stage around midnight. Usually we play there, and so me and Kevin are usually the ones at the Waffle House.
But you have to
about
walk to
3 o'clock
it.
in
It's
the
like
morning.
What
It's in the
casino is
parking
it?
lot,
Yeah.
but it's a Hard Rock Casino in Tulsa.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I love Waffle House in the parking lot. And then you just
Shout out to Waffle House.
come
man.
on,
Yeah.
sponsored by
Let's
Waffle
go.
House.
We need a sponsorship Waffle
and,
House. Let's go.
and Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. I love Miller Lite. So let's see. What's the best venue you guys have ever played at? Like the most memorable venue so far as a band? Before you get to concert in country. 'cause that'll
Yeah,
be
we
the-
probably say that one. Yeah.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
Green Hall.
Green Hall.
Yeah,
Legendary.
that's the place like for any country artist in Texas, especially.
Yeah.
Green Hall is like it's the mother church in Texas, right? I mean, I would say that and Billy Bob's. But Green Hall being the oldest dance hall,
Yeah.
and just the history of that place when you walk in, and you have George Strait on the wall, and probably his album cover, one of his album covers was there in Green Hall,
And the Willie hole.
yeah. Where Willie kind of had to come through they had to make a hole for him in the chicken wire, behind the stage so he can get in because there were so many people. But that was probably for all of us was really cool, man. Just being able to play Green Hall for the first time.
We got some bucket list places though. I mean, I think Billy Bob's is. We're actually really excited to be performing at the TCMAs.
Yeah.
November 12th. So are you up for an award there? You're going to be there?
We're not up for an award. So our awards is different than y'all's award show. Ours is the industry awards.
Oh, that one happened earlier this year.
The actual like artist entertainment awards. They invited me down to present an award again this year. I just don't think I'm going to be able to make it because I have a scheduling conflict. But I had a blast last year.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. And Billy Bob's is a great spot to have that. That at, which is so we never played Billy Bob's, but we are going to play it for the first time at this award show. So they asked us to kick it off, and we're going to. I think most acts play one song, so we're playing 3. So we get to play 3 songs to kick off the award show this year. So we're excited about it. So that'll be our first time. So we can mark off Billy Bob's a little bit.
It's only a matter of time.
We want to headline our own show there.
I think it'll happen.
Oh yeah. It's coming. It's on our radar for sure.
And Green Hall, man, what's funny about Green Hall is people will go there in the middle of the summer when there's no AC in that place and it's just freaking hot as hell.
They don't care.
And they don't care because they're like it's by the river and it's a legendary venue. So that's an honor, and I'm sure that way into the future, you guys are seeing hopefully an opportunity to play like Grand Ole Opry and things like that.
Yeah.
That's on.
Those are just.
I want to play the Ryman. We're talking about like the Mother Church, right? Like the Ryman Theater.
Would
be like the Mother
Red
Church
Rocks.
And Red Rocks. That's
Red
on the
Rocks
list.
as well. Yeah, the Grand Ole Opry. So all those. I mean, there's for artists, but we check them off one at a time. It's
absolutely
just climbing that one step at a time.
I had Josh Ward on a couple months ago, and we talked about him playing his first time at the Grand Ole Opry recently. And you can think about his career and the progression of his career, and he was almost. John probably remembers, my producer. He was in tears pretty much on this show talking about when I asked him about the Grand Ole Opry because it's like he reflected on the 15 or 20 years of work he put into to reach that opportunity. So
that's gonna bring tears in anybody's eyes. I can only imagine standing in that circle where so many have stood before, who have just paved the way to play country music. So, and I love the fact that people they're actually taking a lot of Texas country artists these days. Because our buddy John Wolf, got to play there. Yeah, Josh Ward.
William Beckman
played there. Jake Worthington played there.
Mike and the Moon Pies.
Mike and the Moon Pies.
Yeah. So many great artists.
And that just kind of seemed like that just started up over the past, I think, year or so.
Right.
Where the Grand
Ole
Opry
Kojo had a big impact on that. Maybe just his success in the industry maybe brought a light to that.
Well, Texas artists are starting to get a lot more recognition from Nashville.
Yeah.
I think because of artists like Kojo, Parker McCollum,
Randall King,
those guys are really starting to, because I think Nashville's starting to see that, that music industry is changing, and there's a lot of talent in Texas. Yeah. There's a lot of Nashville artists that try their hand in Nashville, and they'll come to Texas. Yeah. We've met a whole bunch of them on the road these days that are like, oh yeah, I live in Nashville, and but I'm from New Mexico or whatever, and now I live in Texas because I can actually make somewhat of a living playing in Texas.
For sure. I mean, I know an artist who started off doing like rock music in Texas or like alternative, and he realized that the money was like country music, so he totally switched and went country.
Dude, all of us were rock
bands.
What was rock bands?
John's raising his hand back there. He's like, I've been.
Some of y'all might know these.
Yeah, you might need to cut all these out.
Kevin was what was the rock band you were in?
The Last Place You Look.
The Last Place You Look.
Yeah, it was like an alternative rock. But I mean,
and then
but also Kevin Fowler was in Dangerous Toys.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah,
Kevin Fowler was in Dangerous Toys.
Yeah, Dangerous Toys.
You wouldn't even recognize him if you Google a picture of Dangerous Toys. Look up the long-haired blonde kid, and if you squint, it's Kevin Fowler. It really is Kevin Fowler though. Yeah.
No, we always give him shit like whenever we see him.
I'll take a look him out.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh yeah, we played with Kevin Fowler last month.
I think Dallas is like the first one to bring it up to Kevin.
Yeah,
the K-Fowl.
I've seen y'all play a couple months ago or last year at the Hideout at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Oh, awesome.
I was there that night.
Oh yeah,
and
we love
what I realized from y'all's performance, and that was my first time seeing y'all play, is y'all bring the energy, man, and y'all have a lot of fun on stage. And you're very interactive with the crowd, and you guys have fun up there together as a band. So, talk to me about the camaraderie and the how your personal relationships within the band and how you guys get along and build that camaraderie.
So, I mean,
like I said, too, you like brothers.
It's
everything.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But you know what? We've always that's why we've been together so long. You can try to have a band of brothers, but we are a band of brothers, and we've had fights. We've had fist fights.
Yeah.
I mean, no one would ever have known that if I would have mentioned it. But we wake up the next day hungover, because usually there's alcohol involved. Or something.
Yeah. That's
but but we'll wake up the next day and we don't even mention it. We give each other a hug and we say, "Hey, love you, brother."
Yeah,
we move on
like real brothers do.
We've always been able to do that. And I don't know what it is, man, because I've had people in my life in bands. Like I said, we all played in rock bands at some point, even me, and where guys will leave the band.
Yeah,
like you get in one argument, one altercation, especially if punches are thrown.
Yeah,
and that it never happens, but they'd leave. You say one mean thing or one thing that hurts the other person's feeling, and they're out. And that has never happened in this band. And everybody's pretty thick-skinned. But we all think more than anything, like we believe in what we're doing. We believe in this project. And we want to see it succeed, and we know it can't without each other. That's why it's like Chad Cooke Band.
Yeah.
Because I started this because I was, the first album. I wrote the first album, recorded in my house, and started adding one guy at a time. But once I found these guys, man, like we are a band of brothers.
Yeah.
So
I like how some, like you guys, I've worked with many entertainers, and some of them put band on the end and some don't. And I always wonder, like, the people that put band on the end, is that just because like you feel like it's it's a team?
Mm-hmm.
You have to work together. I mean, obviously you're the front man, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, but you can't do it without Kevin and
and there's also like a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, off the stage. That I'm busy almost every day doing social media, content creation, event promotion, all that sort of stuff.
So you're like tour manager and in the band, right?
Well, not tour manager.
He does all of our socials, our graphic design.
The digital side of stuff is what I take care of. During the week.
He makes sure we get our posts out.
Yeah. That's important though, because I'm gonna tell you guys, as a promoter, like that's one thing that grinds my gears, is whenever I hire a band, especially at the big levels, I'm paying $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $75,000, and I'm having to constantly reach out to the camp,
make
and say,
a post, do something,
announce the show, or
mention the show.
Can you make 3 posts in 3 months? I mean, especially for an event like ours, where it's 100% of the money is given to the charity.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have people on like y'all. Like I had Daryl Worley on, I had Bree Bagwell on, because a lot of times management will hide, or they won't tell them what they're really coming into. Then they get there to an event like ours, and they're just blown away. They're like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is for the troops? They're like looking at everything and what's happening. They're like, man, I wish I would have known ahead of time, because I would have done this or I would have done that.
Right.
And that's why it's like I get people in here and I'm like, hey, you're coming to something very special. And I know it sounds cliche, and you probably play these events all the time, but you're never gonna. This is a unique experience on a venue that it's literally a horse farm, 35-acre horse farm that's turned into a concert venue. So if you drive past there right now, there's horses in the front pasture. It looks like somebody's private property. And when you guys come, there's going to be fencing, there's going to be stages, there's going to be tents, there's going to be. I mean, just the whole thing's transformed into a concert venue. And we started the first year doing this. We had 800 people show up. For Jason Cassidy was our headliner. And now
how long? 8 years ago?
Yeah, this is our 8th year. So it'll be 8 years this year. And we've had some of we've had Easton Corbin, Tracy Lawrence, Josh Ward, Pat Green, Aaron Watson. We've had some of the best in Texas.
800 is a great turnout for the first year.
I've
heard of festivals that it's our first year, we only got 15.
15.
We had 800 people show up. I think we raised like $30,000 for the charity. Awesome. Last year, year 7, we had over 3,000 people, and we raised $250,000 for the charity.
That's awesome.
And just the growth, and then obviously winning the award. It's such an important. This event has become so important in our community. I can name 50 businesses right here in this little community that are involved, that are going to be there. I mean, it's just a big deal. So I'm going to keep circling back to that with y'all, because I know y'all are going to be there, and I want y'all to be proud to play it and excited to play it. It's a lot of really good people.
We understand the promotion part of that too, because like we're all about. Kevin's very good at it, and like you said, being a purchaser or a buyer to get these artists in, you don't have to pay all that money, man.
Sure.
To have them not know what it's about, and then not promote about it,
Yeah.
you know, or talk about it, mention it. That's definitely rubs some feathers. We get upset when we go to venues, man, and you know the venues
don't
be
do
the
their
first.
part.
They don't do their part. Like
Yeah.
we'll go on there and like, oh, they haven't talked about the show one time.
Yeah.
You know, now it's day of. You know, so we've gotten better on our end about, you know, getting
It's really a partnership, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. It's a
Like the
two-way
fact you
street.
guys came here today. I mean, that means a lot to us, you know? So,
Oh, yeah. Well, it's all about
happy to
promotion.
be
I
here,
mean,
yeah.
you could put on the best event in the world, and y'all do, but if people
Yeah.
don't know about it,
Exactly.
you know, so y'all taking the time to make sure that y'all doing all your promotion, advertisements, getting artists on your podcast to talk about it. That's what makes events successful.
Yeah.
Not just having a good lineup.
right.
You know, we've been a
They
part of
really
some
gotta
venues,
market.
festivals before where
Yeah.
they had a great lineup, and we were weren't the headliner. It was like, and we were like 4 down the list, you know, and then, you know, it wasn't as good as it could have
Right.
been. Not because the headliners weren't good, but because the headliners didn't talk
Nobody
about
knew.
it, and the venue didn't talk
Yeah.
about it. The festival didn't talk about it. So that's good. That's awesome that you guys are doing a lot of good promotion.
I appreciate that. So, some other questions I have for you guys. I like to show my appreciation for, you know, anybody who's helped me in my life get to where I am. Obviously, I put in a lot of hard work. There's been people in my life that have played a pivotal part in my success, and I like to show my appreciation for them. Is there somebody in y'all's life, each of you, who, you know, it could be your dad, your grandpa, somebody who helped you, that you know, who was a mentor, somebody that gave you an opportunity, or you want to show a little bit of appreciation for?
Do that one up first?
And there
I can go. Yeah, that's in my mind. That's why I was Kevin. We want to go first. If you had somebody in mind off the top of your head, but I have a couple. I mean, I would say my parents for sure. You know, just having that foundation, you know, of family that'll, you know, this is not an easy industry to be a part of.
No.
You know, I mean, you know, it's hard for, like, my dad was all about, when I grew up, he's like, oh, you're going to play sports, you're going to get a scholarship, you know, and I played baseball, went to college, played ball and stuff like that. And I just, man, that whole time, like, I'm just, you know, I wasn't meant to go pro. I know that wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just want to play music, you know.
You're actually a big, tall dude, man. I didn't even know you were as big as you are.
Yeah.
When you walked in, I was like, man, this guy's like, what are you, 6'4"?
6'3",
Yeah.
You can round up.
Yeah, with boots on, 6'4". With my high heels on, I'm 6'5". But you know, but my parents for sure, you know, pushing me to play music, and then my wife, man,
Yeah.
you know, it takes a strong woman to be at home. And I got 2 kids, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, so. You know, you can imagine, you know, living life on the road, being gone every weekend. And these days we're gone like Thursday through Monday most of the time.
Yeah.
And
Oklahoma and back,
home-
or Midland or somewhere.
Home for 3 days, you know. So I say my parents, my wife for sure, is been my biggest supporters in my life. So.
I mean, it's crazy to think. I mean, for the people who are seeing us on stage for 90 minutes at a time, or, you know, 60 minutes at a time, they don't realize all the work that goes on and everybody that has to be there to support us to be able to make it happen. So yeah, family is a huge thing. My parents have been supportive of my musical career for, you know, ever since I wanted to play music. So super grateful for that. I would like to say, who is that guy? Diamond J? Diamond?
The guy that Terry?
No. This is before I was even in the
Chip
band.
Diamond? No, I'm kidding.
No.
You talking Diamond J? We talking about production or
Who was the guy? It was before I was in the band. You and Dallas were playing a show, and he took you after playing the show, and he said, "Hey, you guys want to make it playing country music? You need to. What you guys need to get your start shirt."
Oh, you're talking about Diamond J Bar in
yes, Diamond J.
It was Diamond J. That was Diamond J Bar in
like
South.
A-Town or something?
It's like was it Bait? I don't know. Well, some small city south of Houston, between Houston and Corpus, or Houston and Galveston, between Houston and Galveston. Anyway, so his name was Frank. Yeah, and Frank. That's funny. That's a random thought. I thought about that guy forever.
For some reason, it popped in my brain. So
this guy goes, okay, so we used to play, like, now you've been to our show, you know, we're cowboy hats, like it has like a kind of a 70s look, but like you know, rolled up, you know, pearl snaps, things like that, Wranglers and everything, and which is, you know, that's who we are. And like, I was raised on country music. I live in the woods. I mean, And I was born out there. And but anyway, but back then I was just wearing like boots, jeans, and like a t-shirt and a baseball cap.
Backwards baseball cap.
Pretty much like this right now, And this guy named Frank, we showed up to his bar and played. And after the second time playing there, he's like, guys, I really like y'all's music and y'all sound great, but you got no style. He's like,
need some pearl snaps.
he told us, he was like, y'all got to get like matching shirts.
Matching shirt
starched. You need to have your jeans starched. You need to have your boots. You need to have cowboy hats on. Put some jewelry on.
Yeah,
flashy.
had the band name on the front.
Yeah,
your name on the back. Though. Yeah,
he was on the side.
And at first,
people do like honestly from outside looking in, people see that there's a connection there with the fans and the people that follow you and what you guys do on stage and what you wear.
Yeah, and we weren't really thinking about like style. We were just thinking about let's get up there and just play a show and jam out, And then, but marketing. In his mind, he's thinking marketability.
Yeah,
and we weren't even thinking about that at that point. He's thinking about image and marketability. Which I guess that's why, and he's just a bar owner. He wasn't like a manager, a band manager, but he had the thought of like what a management company would probably tell an artist. Like you got to look at this from like a fan perspective. Like visually, people see things visually first.
Yeah.
And then they hear.
And second. I mean, for you to remember that.
When I wasn't even in, when I wasn't even
and Kevin
there.
joined the band right after that.
I wasn't even there to see it, but I heard about it, and I think that kind of influenced our whole like persona and the way we look on stage.
So we don't know, and he was an old guy. I don't know. So Frank, if you're still alive out there at Diamond,
shout out to Frank.
Thank you.
Diamond Bar. I think it's Diamond Bar.
Where's this Diamond Bar at?
Diamond Bar. It was in Pasadena, I think.
Stinky Dana.
Okay. Stinky Dana.
Stinky Dana.
Hey, you know why I asked that question though is because what I've realized recently, like the last couple of years, is this new generation. And I'm not trying to say like our generation is awesome and the new generation just sucks, but it's like these kids that are coming up, they just want everything handed to them. And it's like this, they want the red carpet rolled out. Mm-hmm. And then when they're given an opportunity or they're given a promotion, instead of being grateful and saying, thank you for the opportunity, thank you for the promotion, they have the mindset that, well, I earned this promotion. I deserve it. And they forget to say, I mean, of course, we all put in the time and the work, right? You can never take that away from us individually. But when somebody gives you something, an opportunity, you gotta be grateful for that.
100%.
And I feel like in society we forgot that too, because relationships are so important. And just pick up the phone and saying, random day, hey, I try to do it when I can remember, just to tell people how much I appreciate their support, whether it be for Boots for Troops or the event or whatever. But that's why I asked that question. I think I've asked it the last couple of shows to my guests, because I feel like in a society we forget to appreciate those who have helped us, along the way.
But I think up and coming artists need to know that too. I mean, it's so funny. People go places like, "Oh, you guys are like new to the scene, huh?" We're like, "Oh,
no, we get it from both sides. It's like
we've been a part.
You guys are brand new. You're a new band, or other people are like, you guys are about to make it.
Yeah,
you're just on the verge. Like it's just like, okay, well.
But like I did a radio interview last week, and they were talking about all this radio station, Cooke FM in Austin, talking about all these new submissions they get all the time from up and coming Texas country artists, and they were like, they were saying, for guys that have been around, and had multiple number ones on Texas radio, they're like, what advice would you give an up and coming artist? And that was one of my pieces. I was like, humility.
Yeah.
And understanding that, overnight success is going to happen for some people, like legitimate overnight success.
Right.
But for most of the time, you're going to have to work your ass off, and you're going to have to put in those 10,000 hours, and you're going to have to go into venues and take $100 check and shake their hand and say thank you.
See, that's something I've known being in the business and in the scene for 7-8 years now is, something about the Texas scene. There's an ego to the entertainers. And I'm not attacking you guys right now. I'm just saying, like, I've worked with young guys who come in and they just feel like they're owed everything already. And it's like, dude, I'm not trying to be offensive, but it's like, you're asking me for all this stuff, but you're not selling any tickets. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not putting butts in seats, you're not bringing people to the show. It's like I get the artist side of like, man, people don't understand, venues, they need to pay us because we travel and all this stuff. I get it. Like I'm very aware of what it costs and what it takes to do stuff what you guys do. But I can go practice football outside all I want. Okay, I can go throw the football and put in 20 hours practicing. But if I can't perform, or if I can't bring people to watch me play football, like it doesn't matter.
Was it
like,
worth? Yeah.
You got to be able to bring people to your show. That's the most important thing. I mean,
now that's the number one thing we talk about.
You got to
like
sell seats, and you got to have songs that people get in their car and they go.
Well, that's right. It always goes back to the song.
Yeah. And if I get in my vehicle and I want to put on your song, then you're going to sell tickets. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents. So humility comes with that. It's like, I know a couple of headliners that they don't like working with some of the young kids because they come in and they're just they think they're they think they're as big as the headliner. They're not. So it's humility. It's paying your dues. It's putting in the 10,000 hours and really just never giving up.
Yeah, it's not. That's the biggest thing. Just don't give up. I mean, it's like do all those things. If you can do all those things, just not to give up. I just keep going forward.
Totally marathon.
Yeah,
and not a sprint.
Yeah.
When it comes to music,
it just sometimes, and I'm on the other side of it. I'm open for a debate. Sometimes it just blows my mind when some entertainers, they want like, oh, I want $5,000. I want this. And it's like, they're not going to bring $5,000 with it. It's like it's literally like promoter suicide. I'm going to pay $5,000. I'm not going to get. I mean, every event's different. Like this one that we have going on with Yar coming to, we have so much sponsor money behind that, and so many things happening to create more revenue,
a little more cushion.
I'm talking about hard ticket shows that are like venues and stuff.
That's why I think from our perspective as an artist, we've had to learn that, and we've always done a good job of this, knowing that your back end is where you make your money.
And you should bet on yourself.
And you should bet on yourself, exactly. So if you're an artist out there that you really think that you're worth $5,000, and it's hard ticket sell, we understand like for festivals and stuff like that, it's a flat rate most of the time. Yeah. But for hard ticket sales, most bars and venues, it's going to be a guarantee versus a 80% or 90% or whatever. Bet on yourself and hope you get that. So don't go to the venue and be like, I need $5,000 or I'm walking. It's like, no, take $2,500 versus 80%. And if you're worth or not, maybe you can negotiate and get up 90%,
right?
Or if you're really lucky, maybe 100%. And then you bet on yourself, and hopefully you make that back end, and that's at least $5,000 because then you're worth it. Well, then you're going to go back because
they're going to bring you back
because the bar's not out of money. They're not paying you $5,000 and then lose their ass.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, well, we can't afford to have them back because they don't bring anybody, and they're going to want another $5,000. It's like, hey, we can gamble on them again. Like even though they didn't bring the amount of people we wanted to, we only paid them $2,000 or $2,500. And they didn't make back end, but we can have them back and try again.
Sure.
Because we're not losing our ass every time we bring this band in. So if artists can understand that, then everybody's happy.
You got to bet on yourself. It also gets skin in the game for everybody. So you're going to promote harder. You're going to be doing your social media stuff because I get 80% of the door. Right. So it's a win. I think it's a better deal, like you said, on a hard ticket club show. Bet on yourself all day long. Chad Prather has always been that way with me. He always takes it back, because he knows he's going to bring the people.
Yeah.
So
and he'll make more money.
Those are tough conversations though between venues and bands and entertainers. You got to find a line where you're being respectful, but also like being honest and realistic about everything.
Yeah, the back end is where it's at.
Right.
That's not just a sexual reference.
And you got to consider like merch and stuff too, man. Like, I don't know if that plays into.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna go play at a festival, right? And you got to consider how much you're gonna make in merch if there's gonna be 1,000 people there. Things like that.
And every band does that differently. Like I know for us, like our merchandise, we'll hopefully always get this merchandise sales up, but like our merchandise never goes back in our pockets. We're very good about taking any money we make on our streaming and our merchandise, and all that goes back into the business.
Reinvesting in the business.
It goes back into the business to grow. That's how we record our next album. That's how we spend. That's where all the marketing money we goes to. For every show we play, we put money behind Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google AdWords, whatever it is, and all that comes from merchandise. That comes from then also merchandise also goes back into buying more merchandise. Merchandise is stupid expensive,
and paying for a merch guy.
And paying for our merch guy. Yeah.
See, those small details are what separate you guys from other bands, though. Like being professional like that, and like buyers and promoters and things like that. They see that stuff, and it's like, man, they're fun to work with. They're good to work with, and you want to work with them again. Yeah. So I think it's just a partnership, Yeah. 100%. Some of the bands don't. I feel like they just don't have the team around them, or the guys in the band that are, I guess.
You just got to think about it. Yeah. Like we don't have a team around it. We are the team. We have a booking agent and a manager, but for the most part, we sit down together like on while we're in the van going to show.
Sure.
We think about these things like constantly. Me and Kevin on the phone every day for hours talking about show promote. We have multiple Excel spreadsheets with every show, every date, whether the ad's been started, has it not been started, back in potential.
I love it.
Total freak in the spreadsheets.
Me too, dude. I'm a spreadsheet
I love them,
dude. I'm a spreadsheet freak.
I got to see it all on one page. I got to see my columns and my rows, and I got to have it all right there in front of me.
Well, I know we're going to work together a lot in the future. I know it's our first time, but I already know we're going to work a lot together in the future.
Yeah,
so
appreciate it. Hope so.
Let me talk to you real quick about some of my show sponsors. You guys ever ate at Captain Brad's Coastal Kitchen?
We had it when we played a place that catered that.
Really?
It's right here off 249 North Point.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about something. I'm thinking another place. No, I have not. No.
Okay, if you get a chance, you're playing a show in Tomball anywhere, head over to Captain Brad's Coastal Kitchen. It's in 249 North Point. Brittany Applin is the owner. She's big time in the community, and the food, and I'm not just saying this because they're a sponsor, I'm being for real, the food is really good. So crab legs, lobster tails,
that's
seafood. If you remember the old Blue Water restaurants, so her dad was the owner of that. He passed. She ended up opening her own Captain Brad's. Brad was his name. So the food's phenomenal. The atmosphere is phenomenal. The staff is like amazing. So go over there and check out Captain Brad's if you guys are ever in the Tomball area playing a show or just want to go check them out.
Will do.
And then Texas Stage. You guys may have heard of Texas Stage. You may have worked with them before at some of your shows. They're a full production audio sound company.
Yeah.
Do a lot with Cody Johnson. They do all of my festivals and shows, Texas Stage. So shout out to them. Roof Republic, LLC. It's a female-owned roofing company. This girl, Chantel, she is a badass, and she's a hard worker. But if you need a roof or you're having roof problems, leaks, things like that with your roof, call Roof Republic, LLC. Find them on Facebook. And then Valor Apparel, screen print, embroidery, full-blown merchandise company if you need any merchandise. All right. One more question before I get you guys out of here. This is kind of a fun question. If you could spend one day with anyone in the world, who would it be? I'm talking morning to the end of the day, have lunch, hang out. And while y'all think about it, I'll tell y'all who I would choose. All right. It used to be Donald Trump, but now
I like that.
Like I just think
on the golf course.
Yeah, I mean, like how entertaining would that be? Just fun. But recently, I said, man, I'd have to choose between Donald Trump or Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
because what Deion's doing in Colorado, and I know there's a lot of people that think they're on both sides.
Maybe before the last loss.
I'm still with them though. Man.
I know I think he might be a little down this week. Maybe wait till next week.
I think what he's doing
great things in Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, just revolutionizing recruiting and things like that. And I think it's just he's an interesting person. One of the best athletes ever. Obviously playing multiple sports.
Oh, dude, yeah, baseball and football.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, and he's just very high energy, motivating, and that's the type of people I want to be around. So those would be my two. If I had to choose, I had to flip a coin on that. But I was interested in see who you guys.
I love that. We have been on a Colorado football kick. Yeah. So the past 3 weeks we've been watching on Saturdays, and we'll be on the road. So it's always football on Saturday, college on Saturday, and then NFL on Sunday. But we've been watching Colorado. We've been rooting for them as well. Yeah. So to see them lose last week against Oregon, but I think that's going to be good for them.
Yeah,
I really do, because I think I know I'm getting off subject, but you brought up
Deion Sanders. Talk about it.
But we love Deion Sanders, dude, and having him be able to coach two of his kids, two of his sons on the same team is really cool. Absolutely. I mean, just as a father, it's like my kid's he's only 6, but I mean I can only imagine, being at that level, and doing all that, and then he's been so successful his whole life, but then I'm sure later in his life you asked him like what was more meaningful to you, playing baseball and football at the same time, and winning all this stuff professionally in his personal professional career, or coaching your two sons at Colorado while taking a team that was 11-1 last year. 1-11. Yeah, 1-11. They
worst team in probably college football.
1-11 last year to 2-0, and then now 2-1.
3-0.
3. That's right. Yeah, that's right. They won 3. Yeah. So excuse me, but I'm sure he would say
coaching his kids.
Yeah. I mean, because what better thing is a dad?
I mean, I'm not a dad, so I don't really know that, but I mean, I'm sure that's just there may not be another opportunity. I mean, that might be the best thing that's ever happened to him in his life.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I know he's married,
cool to
but,
watch. Yeah.
I mean, to be able to coach your kids at that level and have both of them on the team at the same time,
Yeah.
and be there whenever they have a bad play, or not only as a coach but as a father. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
It's special. It's special.
I'm rooting for Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm
I am
rooting
too.
for him. I think what happened to him last week is going to be a good thing for
You
him.
got to think though, they didn't have their best player, Travis Hunter. He was.
Right.
I'm not making excuses. Oregon kicked their tails, but
Yeah.
they were missing, a starter on defense and offense because he plays both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they would have won the game. Maybe it would have been more competitive.
A little more
but,
competitive for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows that they're still a little bit. They're still quite a bit away from being, maybe going to the national championship or playoffs, but they're definitely trending in the right direction as a program.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
he'd be cool to hang out with. But who are you going to hang out with?
You got anybody? What do you think?
George Strait?
That would be pretty cool.
You know what? I would love to sit around all day, drink beer, and hang out with Joe Diffie.
Yeah,
God rest his soul.
that'd be cool.
Joe Diffie.
He passed because of
Interesting.
COVID
Yeah.
years ago, but pickup man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I would probably say and I'm gonna go total family. I'm all about family.
Yeah.
I love my family, my more than anything. And I would most people probably pick in my mind I'm thinking okay, it'd kind of go like Abraham Lincoln. I'm a history buff too.
Yeah.
So something like that. But I would say my great grandfather. He died when I was 8.
Oh, that's
And he was a guy who was, I was telling you about before the podcast. He was in the Army Air Corps in World War II.
wow.
So he flew B-2 bombers, and he was I still have his hat that he wore while he was flying, and he was just he was tall. He was like 6'5", tall, skinny guy, but he was big into history, and he taught me. I was at a young age. He gave me all these National Geographic books and stuff like that. He has old newspaper clippings, and I still have all this.
Right.
And he got me into history because he was like, son, he told me when I was a kid, he was like, make sure that you know the history. Read read these. He says, because the older you get, the history books are going to change.
Yeah.
All that's going to change down the line, and it's all going to be, they're going to water it down.
Yeah.
They're not going to want people to know what actually happened
Right.
here. I'll go back and see my grandfather, man. Spend a whole day, my great grandfather, Joe Mitchell. I'd spend a day with him, man, and just as an adult, asking questions that I didn't know to ask when I was a kid. And I would love to hear his thoughts on society today.
Oh.
I would love to.
I'd love to hear many people from that generation.
Yeah.
Some of them are probably rolling over in their graves. But I never thought about it from your perspective as I've always thought about a living person. I never thought about, me, I don't know, now that you mention it, I'd love to do the same thing with my grandfather because he died when I was 11 or 12 or something. Not old enough to really pick his brain or really talk to him, but interesting answer, man. It's really cool. Well, is there anything you guys want to share with our viewers before I let y'all off the hook about the show's going to be coming out October 3rd, so anything after that, I know you guys are going to be with us October 20th, but anything you want to say to?
Cool.
We have a single coming out October 6th.
Yeah, so 3 days after this podcast comes out, we have a brand new single coming out.
It's a duet. We've never done a duet before, so
Yeah.
this is new for us.
Awesome.
We're excited about it.
What's it called?
It's called Same Place Twice.
Okay.
And this is my first time doing a duet, our first time singing a duet. And it was, we sang this with Amanda Kate Ferris.
Okay.
So she's kind of new to the Texas scene. She's been singing a long time. I met her, so before I worked in the oil field, I lived in Nashville. I tried that whole thing. I moved up there. She worked at the same restaurant that my wife, who was my girlfriend then, was working at, and they met, and she was trying to make it Nashville like I was, everybody's waiting tables and singing at nighttime.
Right.
And so she moved to Texas a couple of years ago. She's a beautiful girl, beautiful voice, and she was perfect for this song. So song comes out, I guess, 3 days after this airs on October 6th. And it's called Same Place Twice. And
you guys going to sing it October 20th?
Heck yeah, we will.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys make sure y'all check it out October 6th. Check out their new single, right?
Our new
It's going to be out on
single.
Spotify, Apple.
Yeah, and it's already on radio, so you can call in the next 3 days.
Okay.
You can hear it on your local radio station if you call and request it.
Make sure you call in K-Star Country over there in Conroe. That's one of our.
Talk to Lisa, Chrissy, or Dave over there.
Yep, that's our official concert station of Concert in the Country. We're going to have the Chad Cooke Band out there headlining Friday night, October 20th. We'll have the cook-off going on. We'll have a cornhole tournament going on. A lot of fun stuff, all raising money for Boots for Troops. Again, thank you, Kevin Pool, Chad Cooke, for being on the show today. And we'll see you guys next time on the Sailor Jimmy podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Sailor Jimmy podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with Jimmy, check us out on the web at sailorjimmy.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/SailorJimmyTX, on Instagram at SailorJimmyTX, and on TikTok at Sailor Jimmy. We'll see you next time.